Well, hello MGTOW, welcome back. Well, I gotta tell you, I kind of enjoy wearing my mask because I find that I get to laugh a lot more nowadays. I get to smile a lot more at some of the things I see in public, and you know, this mask, it gives me a chance to kind of you know, keep it all hidden. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of it, and I hope that we have to wear it for a little longer. Anyways, it's been great fun. But anyways, I'm here to talk about women, and you know, my subscribers demand just that. And lucky for me, you know, all these guys are volunteers. I'm not forcing anyone here to be part of this channel. All I do is make suggestions. I am a monk, but I don't demand that anyone follows my doctrine. These are all suggestions and recommendations. So thank you for being here tonight and listening to what I have to say. It gives me great pleasure to know that someone out there finds value in the things that I want to share with you guys. So let's get started. You know, guys are getting trapped again, and you know, we're losing a lot of guys here in the manosphere. Of course, some are always, you know, coming in, but we're also losing some, and it has to do with the current circumstances, right? You know, and I predicted this about a year ago, you know, and we have to ask ourselves, you know, why we're losing these guys. You know, why we're losing these guys to the gynocracy. Why are they going back to the plantation? And I believe it's because, you know, they're hearing once more from women and from, you know, the traditionalist conservative men that, you know, that love is magical, and they hear that, you know, that it's all a fantastic experience, that if you meet the right woman, you know, it can be sort of like a dream come true, right? And not all women are the same, and these guys, you know, they are led to believe, again, by the women and by the tradcons. They're led to believe that they can find somebody worthy, you know, somebody that is worthy of being cherished, and you know, someone worthy of their adoration. And you know, so they're told that love is kind of like a light that can bring life to a lonesome heart, and in a heart that begs to be showered with affection. You know, the way in which a lot of young men's hearts find themselves wanting for someone to care for them in this modern and, you know, fast-paced world. And so they talk to men, you know, the traditional conservatives, you know, and the women who now have a captive audience in men. You know, they talk to men, and they even make mention of, you know, complex subjects like the multiplicity of love. You know, that is they go into great detail about, you know, the flow of emotions and the natural cycle of life, and how low, you know, how love grows exponentially with every child that comes to the world. You know, with every soul that is born as a result of it. They even say that that at the very moment, you know, when love, as God intended, occurs, a child is conceived, and they tell men that, you know, that love is the force that makes the world go around for humans. And that, you know, for evidence of that, all you have to do is look up at the sky, you know, and you'll find out for sure, you know, how things were meant to be. That you'll receive the truth, the pure truth. And, you know, sadly, what these unsuspecting men fail to recognize is that the search for truth, you know, that in their search for truth, when they're out there searching for truth, that they have been blindfolded. You know, they've been blindfolded by charlatans and pretenders, and imitators, by cheats, and a whole plethora of just plain assholes and actors who are only loyal to fraud. And, you know, it's because of fraud that these people make their living. And why, you know, in the case of women, right, why would a woman, you know, place any sort of high value on truth when, you know, her whole existence, right, depends on lies, when she's banking on lies, you know, for the continuation of her cushy existence, right? Why would she do that? And so the current situation, you know, that it has given women once more, you know, the opportunity to bluff into men's ears tales about the purity of love, and how true love is blind, and that when it comes to relationships, an imperfect past is no reason to be afraid. You know, that is no true reason to be afraid of, you know, of learning to love once more. And so men, you know, men are bombarded with all these rituals, you know, the ritual of love, you know, the symbolism associated with this idealized future. You know, we see the happy couple, you know, at the park, you know, enjoying each other's company, right? All while they're having a picnic, right? We see the flowers, the kiss, the smiles, the sunny day, right? The green grass. But, you know, what are these people really interested in, right? What are they really after? And what they want is the transformation of men. They want your transformation from a free and strong individual to a submissive one, and they will do anything in their power to soften you up. And the reason they want this is because they know that only by softening you up, that's when they're gonna have a chance to make you subservient to their wishes. And so it's in your best interest to remain as free as you can from all this, you know. And I want to talk a little bit about you know, the feminist abuse of Christian values, because you know, for you know, even an asshole like me, a guy that's, you know, that has no God and no country, right? I find that there is value in, or should I say, there is merit to traditional Christian values. Things, you know, such as compassion, forgiveness, charity, mercy. These things have value, and you know, let's not forget that once upon a time, the world was not anywhere near what it is today, right? You know, prior to the advent of Christianity, the Roman world was a very tough and very real place. You know, Roman civilization. The Romans, right? They were known for war. They were a warlike people. And so all these things that we take for granted today, right? These values that we take for granted. You know, people did not hold them to high esteem like we do today. So how are the feminists abusing Christian values, right? Well, you know, let's put it like this. They've made a mockery of the pulpit, right? They have taken these values that, ironically, it was women who first wanted the world to be this way, right? Because Christ himself was followed, and I don't mean followed like, you know, like an Instagram model kind of following, right? There were a lot of the early followers of Christianity, right, of the teachings of Christ, were women. Let us not forget that, you know, Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, and you know, of course, the church has, you know, tried to clean it all up, right? And they try to say that, you know, that she wasn't a prostitute, because they had, you know, the church has throughout its time, you know, as an organization, done its very best to portray prostitution in a negative light, even though this wasn't the case in earlier societies. And so, you know, but the truth is the truth, and Jesus' followers, a lot of his early followers were women, some of which were undoubtedly prostitutes, and Mary Magdalene was no exception. And in a very harsh world, like, you know, like the Roman world, right, where, you know, public executions, bullfights, right, gladiator shows, you know, all these, you know, infanticide, right, war, you know, non-mechanized war, right, you know, war of the hardest kind, right, face-to-face battle. It was a very tough world in which to live, and women were at a clear disadvantage. And so these values that Christ was bringing to the world, right, that he was preaching, this was exactly what women needed in order to to come to par with men in some respects, right? Not all, but in some respects. And it was these these teachings of Jesus that led to further developments in in the way in which we as men treated women, in the way in which we viewed women, right? And by there were further developments like romanticism, right? In the 19th century, but even before that, we're talking chivalry, right? In the Middle Ages, and so the European Middle Ages, and so the world wasn't always an easy place in which to live, right? It isn't one now. It's a very dangerous world, but you had to be physically strong in the past in order to survive, right? In fact, one of the reasons why the Romans tended to respect the Jewish more than they did the Christians at first in the early stages of Christianity was because the Jewish fought back, but the Christians they didn't, because that was part of the creed, right? That was part of the doctrine of Christianity, to not fight back. And this is the world that we have created, a world where it's much softer as a result of the teachings of Jesus. And again, this is how women have come to be on par, with men in some social respects, some social aspects. Of course, technology played a big part in that too, right? Are going through the industrial era, right? And further than that, right? This technological era in which we live is what has allowed women to come into the marketplace, right? And be able to compete with men in the marketplace. And so that's where we find ourselves today. But women are, especially the feminists, right? The feminists are abusing these values that are now, or have now become traditional here in the West, right? They have just made mockery of all these values. And so what I think will happen in the future, perhaps not in the in the near future, but in a more distant future, right? What will happen is that men will begin to question, whether we should continue with this, going down this path, right? Whether we should continue this, in this course, right? And we see a lot of that taking place now. We see it where men are no longer opening doors for women, although doors are now easy to open. Many of them open electronically. But we're giving women exactly what they've asked for, which is equality, and they're finding out, many of them are finding out that there are some instances still in our modern world. There are some instances in which they're unable to cope, and with the disappearing of this of these values from the West, right? The diminishing of our cherishing of these values, the feminists are gonna find themselves at odds, you know, with how it is that, you know, that men are dealing with them. And so, you know, they're asking for something very dangerous, you know, something that's not going to benefit them at all. And in fact, I believe that it may not benefit, you know, some men as well, simply because, you know, again, you know, these things have value, right? We're talking about, you know, the things like people haven't really questioned, right, lately, like the hospital system, you know, the systems of charity and aid to the poor, you know, with the disappearance of religious values, right, because of the way in which these feminists are playing with the social structure, right. You know, the world is likely to be a very different place. It's going to be perhaps a very harsh place, resembling in some ways that very distant past of 2,000 years ago. And so the girls are playing with fire. They're playing with fire, and they're asking for things that they may not want. Anyways, this has been kind of a weird video here with a couple of, you know, I guess this has been two videos in one, but that's what just, I guess that's, you know, what has come to memory, you know, and I figure that you know, I come out here and share it with you guys before it all went back into storage, and you know, the storage of my mind. So anyways, I'm kind of, it's my time to go to bed here. Again, it's been a pleasure. I hope once more that this information finds you in, you know, that it finds you well, that it finds you in a position where, you know, where you feel good about, you know, everything that's going on around your life. And I hope that tomorrow is going to be a better day. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.